I never told anyone about the money in my mattress. Not my late husband, not my children, not even my best friend. It wasn't greed. It was fear and love. Fear that life could take everything from me again. Love. Because I wanted something left behind if it did. For 40 years, that secret slept beneath my back, through sickness, loneliness, and every night I whispered my husband's name into the dark. But one morning, my grandson, sweet, curious Thomas, found what even death hadn't taken from me, and what he did next nearly broke my heart. I was 28 when I first slipped those bills between the seams of that old mattress. $10,000. My entire world at the time. My husband Robert had just passed, leaving me with 2 children and a stack of hospital bills taller than my hopes. Back then, banks didn't feel safe to me. Not after they denied me a loan for my husband's surgery. So I kept the money close, hidden in the one place no one would think to look. Each dollar was a promise to myself that no matter how cruel life became, I would never be helpless again. Years passed. The mattress aged like me, worn, creased, and quiet. But every time I lay down, I could feel the faint crinkle beneath the fabric, a reminder that I'd once fought the world and survived. Thomas was always my sunshine in the years that grew gray. He'd visit every Sunday after church, help me fix little things around the house, and laugh like the world still had color. One day, he offered to help me replace my old mattress. "Grandma," he said, lifting one corner, "I think this thing's older than me." He was right. It probably was. I smiled and told him, "It's held me longer than anyone else ever has." He chuckled, but when he pressed his knee into the side, his face changed. "Grandma, why does it feel like there's something inside?" My heart stopped. It was the first time in 40 years I'd seen someone touch that side of the bed. He ran his hand along the seam and felt the edge of an envelope. Before I could stop him, he tore the stitching loose, and a puff of old fabric dust floated up. Then, like a slow confession, the money spilled out, old yellowed bills, tightly bound. "Grandma," he whispered, "what is this?" His eyes were wide, not greedy, just shocked. I sat down beside him, the smell of old cotton and memories filling the room. "It's my past," I said softly, "and my mistake." I thought he'd understand. But the next morning, I saw him whispering to my daughter in the kitchen. Her eyes met mine, cold and confused. "Mom," she said, "why didn't you ever tell us about the money? Were you hiding it from us?" The shame burned through me. I'd spent a lifetime protecting that secret, not out of greed, but out of fear. And now it looked like betrayal. Thomas stood behind her, silent. I could tell. He thought the same. In that moment, I felt smaller than I ever had. A mother stripped of trust. A grandmother misunderstood. They thought I didn't trust them, when the truth was, I didn't trust life itself. That night I sat on my bed, the same old mattress, half empty now, and pulled out a small notebook I'd hidden beneath the pillow. Inside, between faded photos of Robert and my children, was a letter I'd written decades ago. "To whoever finds this," it began, "this isn't greed. It's gratitude. I've lived through loss, and I learned to keep one promise, that I would never leave this world empty-handed. If you find this, may it remind you, love isn't about what we keep, but what we protect." I placed that letter on the kitchen table before bed. If they wouldn't hear my words, maybe they'd read my heart. When I woke up, Thomas was sitting at the table, the letter open beside him. His eyes were red. "Grandma," he said softly, "I didn't understand before. I thought you were hiding from us, But you were protecting us. He reached for my hand. I put the money back, he whispered. Not in the mattress, in the bank. Under your name. Safe this time. I smiled through my tears. You always were the smart one, he shook his head. No, Grandma. You were. That old mattress is gone now. But sometimes, when I lie down at night, I still hear the faint echo of those crinkling bills, the sound of a life that refused to give up. My grandson found the money, but what he really found was me, because the secret I hid for 40 years wasn't just about survival. It was a reminder that even when life strips you bare, there's always something soft left to lie on. Hope.